often than not, when you start seeing these problems, it just means that there's too much of it. And that's where we don't really even know where to go from there. And I don't think it's streaming right. Oh, there we go. Now it's working. Okay. All right. I'm not sure if it's working or not fully, but we'll keep going because on my end it's working. All right, where was I? Oh, so common side effects of stress can be headaches, muscle tension and pain, chest pain, even fatigue, upset stomachs and sleeping problems, as well as sex drive. So that's just physical problems that can come about from stress. And then your mood, it can cause anxiety, restlessness, lack of motivation, as well as focus. So if you're having trouble focusing on things, it could be resulting from stress. You could be feeling overwhelmed, irritable, anger, quick to anger, uh, and then even sadness and depression, which is not to be taken lightly, as well as the anxiety. Not that should not be taken lightly. And then as far as your behavior goes, it can also change on if you're overeating or undereating. You might not even fully realize it. You can be quick to anger, so you'll just randomly get these outbursts. It can increase the likelihood that you'll use drugs or alcohol and tobacco, and it can even cause some social withdrawal. So you might not fully realize if it is actually affecting you until somebody brings it to your attention, like, hey, you could just be really stressed out. Sorry. Um my allergies are terrible. All right. So, how to even identify what is stressing you out in your life is, first, don't explain away stress as a temporary thing, because there's always going to be a million things going on in your life. So telling yourself it's just temporary is probably not true. Another thing is, if you define stress as just something that is always going to be a part of work or home, that, or even just part of your personality, that might not necessarily be a good thing. Now, like I said before, a little bit of stress is good, but if you're describing it as something that is just part of you and who you are, it's just always crazy around here, or I have a lot of nervous energy, any of those things, it can really just build up on itself, and you're not taking it seriously enough when you start making excuses like that. And then another thing is to be blaming stress on other people or outside events. So things that you might not necessarily have control of. So, to a point, that can be true. But if you realize that it is a major stressor, then you should, and especially if it's causing all of these other health problems, you should find ways to really start pulling it out of your life, or just decreasing the amount of time you're spending in that situation. So, a great way to figure out exactly what is causing the high levels of stress would be to start journaling. And it's really a pain in the butt, honestly. But if you carry some sort of notebook around with you, No, pretend this is a notebook. If you carry a notebook around with you constantly, all the time, and a pen, and you're just going to just open up in there. All right, today, wake up. How do I feel? All right. Getting ready for work. How do I feel? Maybe you don't have enough time for you to get ready as you need to in the day. Maybe you are the type of person that needs to be able to go slow and slowly wake up your whole body. And maybe you just might be one of those people that has to get up and go, go, go. But how do you feel about when you're getting ready for work? How do you feel while you're eating your lunch? Do you feel rushed? That's a problem. That is going to be a problem if it isn't a problem already for you. Stress eating is not good. But I talked about that in another episode. So just go throughout your day, and you're going to constantly, at least a week, go through and just, I know it's a pain in the butt, but if you are having health problems because of stress, then this is one of the best ways to really find out those top stressors. And then from there, you can figure out, hey, maybe I can take this completely out, or maybe I can limit it to so many minutes so that way I don't feel as stressed, or maybe I can move it to a different time of day when I have more focus for it or something like that. So really it is about playing with what you actually can do, because some things you can't fully get rid of. Some things you need in your life, and sometimes the way you're reacting might just be because it's coming after something else that works you up, and then that doesn't get a chance to come back down before you go into this next activity. So, I'm sorry. Oh, all right. So, stress journal, how you act to the stress when you realize what you're having stress. Also record how you're reacting to it. Maybe ways that you think might be able to change how you feel. If you can change your reaction, maybe you can look at it a different way. Just writing it out and kind of taking a step back and seeing it from outside can give you that perspective you need to be able to change your mindset on it. So maybe it isn't actually stressful. Maybe the way you're perceiving it initially is stressful. And so now going into it in the future, you'll be able to know, like, hey, this isn't actually the way I think it is. Let's rephrase that in my head. So then you'll end up naturally thinking about it that way at the end. Next tip will be to practice. I think somebody called this the A's of stress management when I had learned about it before, but I'm not sure. So, you're pretty much, it's going to avoid unnecessary stress like I talked about. So from that journal, you're going to figure out, all right, do I really need this in my life? Is it actually benefiting me, or is it causing me more problems? Are you on some planning committee at your kid's school and you really don't actually have time for it, but you think in your head, like, this makes you in the perfect image of a parent? No, don't worry about that. Like, if it's only causing you stress, then maybe you should take a step back. And then if you can't avoid it, then changing the situation would be the next best way. So like I talked about before, maybe you can change how you're looking at it. Maybe you can change when you're looking at it to a point when you're going into it more calm. So maybe when you come out of it, you will be less stressed from it. And then another way to do it would again be to adapt to it. So if you can't change the time that you're going to be doing it, you can't take it out of your life, maybe you can just look for the positive in that scenario. So this is where practicing gratitude that I talk about a lot comes in handy. It'll change your perspective going into it. And so when you come out of it, you'll be looking at the big picture for the long run and say, no, this is really good for me. It might feel uncomfortable, but it is helping me grow or helping me in this area or that. And finally, you're going to accept the things that you can't change. So if it is an outside variable that needs to stay in your life and you've done all you can, or it's an unavoidable situation, uh, like some tragic accident happening in your family, um, maybe morning commute is stressful for you, and leaving earlier doesn't really help you not sit in traffic and hear all the honking. But you can reframe it. Maybe you can start listening to audiobooks or podcasts to make that more enjoyable for you, and learn that you aren't going to change it. So it's going to be okay. It's just I don't know. Sometimes when you accept that you can't change it, it's a little bit easier for you to see the positive light in the situation, if that makes sense. Um, so that is really all of my initial tips on dealing with stress, recognizing stress, and it just really touches the surface. But once again, I talked to Kathy, and she got to shed some light, I guess, light worker, haha, on what brought her to learning about the world of stress reduction and how that looked for her, and then what she has found in teaching others, and from that learning on things that are easily changeable for you and how to fix that. So she really talks about oxygen's role in our body as well as carbon dioxide and the importance of actually making sure that you get rid of all of the carbon dioxide as you're exhaling, and the importance of exhaling and what can result in there being too much carbon dioxide in your system. And then she also goes into talking about how to stimulate your vagus nerve, which really helps with reducing that stress. And this is coming from a lady who was one of those, had a lot of anxiety and the full on anxiety attacks that were like, I described it in the interview as earthquake, because it would build up, build up, build up, and then it would kind of subside a little bit, but then all the way come back, like crashing waves on a beach also. So it was just kind of one of those things that she came from, and this stuff helped her as well as other techniques, but she really stressed the importance of breathing, and it is a really, really good episode. I can't wait for you guys to hear it. It will be out, so today's Tuesday, in a week, so the next Tuesday, so 1 week from today is, if I find it today, is the 8th. So it's coming out on the 8th. But it is a very, very great talk. And anytime I get to talk to Kathy, it's always a good conversation. So if you guys haven't heard her last interview, once again, go ahead and listen to that last one. It's with Lightworker Kathy interview. So that's all I have today for you guys. Thank you so much for listening. Feel free to put any questions in the comments, as well as your favorite ways to reduce stress, or maybe your favorite tip that you learned from this, and your favorite way that you personally already use to share with others so that it may work for them. Once again, all of this isn't a one-size-fits-all mold for everybody. One thing might work for you, one thing might not work for you that works for 10 other people. So best of luck. Any way that I can help, let me know, and I will reach out to you. But have a great day. Talk to you soon.
What were some of your favorite tips? Head over to the Create Yourself community and let everyone know so you can get connected with others who are also just starting while getting advice from those who have been there, done that. For show notes and more, head over to www.sarahfegley.com. If there's someone you know who could benefit from this, invite them to join in. The more the merrier. Talk to you soon.